Hi, I'm Ron Burgess. I'm the moderator for today's discussion about MCIE. And we're here with two very special guests, Ron and Kathy, to talk about the early days of MCIE and how that happens to get started and ultimately how we got to where we are today. Ron, you were involved in the very, very early days, and we'd love for you to tell us a little bit about how that came about.
Okay. Well, in the 2001-2002 timeframe, California Steel Industries was in a great need for skilled craft people, especially in the electrical and electronic field. But we had difficulty recruiting fully skilled people. So we ended up looking for other alternatives because we couldn't find enough to fill all the position openings we had. And especially, again, in the electrical and electronic repair hand area. So I started to look at training programs in the area. And I found none that I could easily tap our company into to do that. So the answer was to work with some entity, and we had a relationship already with Chaffey College because they'd done some spot training for us in the past, to try to develop our own curriculum that would be needed to upgrade our craftspeople, to work with a group like Chaffey College to fill in the needs, and they were a receptive partner. And we started working together, developing our own customized curriculum using some of the people at Chaffey, like Kathy Dutton and Elmano Elvis of their electrical department. And we decided that we'd heard other like companies in the area, manufacturing companies in the area, also had the same needs. So we formed an unofficial 6-company consortium. This group started to develop the curriculum with Chaffey, and we ultimately developed that curriculum and then started to send the students, which were our employees of the 6 companies, to Chaffey 1 to 2 days a week at their El Toloma campus, and the other 4 or 3 days a week they would work OJT on the job training at our companies. And this program started to prove highly successful, so it got a lot of word of mouth, and other companies wanted to start to join this because the program was doing well. We met monthly at California Steel for a lunch meeting to review the progress and so on, and at some point in time, after we started getting the electrical programs pretty much identified, we also decided we needed to do the same for the mechanical craft. And San Bernardino Valley College and Robert Levesque, Kathy's counterpart at San Bernardino Valley, was instrumental in helping us develop the program that ultimately we put into San Bernardino Valley. Along those lines, the Workforce Development Board and Barbara Halsey was instrumental in helping us, and Kathy could maybe talk a little bit about some of the funding that we got to help move this program along. So the results of this was that we had a customized training program meeting the company's needs, filling the gap of not being able to get fully qualified electrician, electronic repair hands, and we're able to get more companies involved. And since we were meeting monthly and more companies started to join our 6-company consortium, and we were starting to talk about training in other areas that were needs of these companies, not just the original 6, at some point it was decided that maybe we ought to call ourselves something. And someone suggested that maybe we should call ourselves the Manufacturing Council. Yeah. And so that was okay, so we started doing that, and all of a sudden, our monthly meetings were the Manufacturing Council meetings. And that's how it kind of started, and resulted in some very good training done by some very good instructors. And along the lines, Kathy got us a grant from the state of California for $150,000, and the people from Chaffey College, myself, flew back east, picked some training equipment out that would help the colleges, and we took that equipment and placed it at Chaffey College and Valley College to help facilitate the training.
Yeah, which is cool.
So I retired in 2007 in March, and at that point the programs for mechanical and electrical were well underway, and the council was starting to expand into lots of other areas.
Right. And Kathy, you had programs prior to Ron approaching you in this fashion. You had programs that you had done for them already, but you had mentioned earlier that those programs didn't necessarily meet the needs of employers. What was it about Ron's proposal that got you interested and open-minded to a whole new program?
Well, I had different programs. I had the Welfare to Work program trainings that we did, and we also had contract education, which was customized training
Yes.
for employers. That we did several different types of trainings. But Ron's initial, when he first came to me about the electrical training, and El Mono came to me about electrical training, it was a much bigger plan. It was the scope of the plan was to continually enhance the training and skills of these craftsmen. So it was a lifelong type of training that we could take somebody from where they were up to where, because it was, the electrical field was constantly training. When you think about all the advances in the electrical field and all the different equipment and how everything's changing.
Yes.
That it's constant, that they need training all the time. So it made sense to me that I could work with a company like CSI and we could make this work, and and having Valley College do the mechanical training, that this is something that could really put the state in. We had a lot of people that had jobs, and we had a lot of people that needed jobs. So as these people that we were training moved up, it would open jobs and that other people could move into.
So San Bernardino Valley did the hands-on mechanical part.
The mechanical training.
And
yes.
then what was your training? That was more technically oriented, class-oriented at that time?
No, we did the electrical training, which had a lot of equipment.
Okay.
And high-end electrical training.
okay.
And that was some of the equipment that we purchased with
But-
El Mono
Yes.
there to pick out what he needed.
But they needed more, because they needed more advanced. I mean, the manufacturing industry was advancing at a very rapid rate.
Yes.
And so they needed constant advancement in their training. And that was very costly. So, and we needed money, so I went after grants, and I went after them all over the place.
Right. And you apparently were pretty good at that, both of you.
I think it's important to realize that when they hit something with the curriculum or something that needed to be advanced, when they had somebody else come in to train, that wasn't that easy to do. But when they had an instructor that could come in and they could customize the training right at that point, saying we're missing this piece, that was what they had at the college, when they could bring in that instructor like El Mono and have them adjust the curriculum so it could go forward like the next day. That's what they had, and they didn't have that any other way.
Okay, and that there became the innovation in the whole
It
program.
was the continuing process
It's a
that
continuing
evolved.
process.
Right.
And then we eventually got to a program that met our needs, that the colleges could satisfy, and it became a very big success.
Right, great. Thank you both very much for your time.